and welcome to the channel. As you can see, we're in the TVT here today and we're going spreading a bit of slurry. I have the trailing shoe with me, but before I go on about that, this is the worst road we actually travel, and you can see in front of me why I can understand what this carry-on does be about. Always the case around here. Look, it's just an area there's not much farming going on along here anymore, and it's more, without saying anything bad about anyone, it's more people that have moved out from town and live along here and they don't really understand the logistics of big machinery. Unfortunately, to go around the other way is quite a trick, so we usually go this way, except with butterflies. We don't really go this way, we go around the other way. But anyway, we're going spreading slurry with the trailing shoe, and look, I said I'd give a run over to check it. I have done nothing to it, absolutely nothing, so we'll see how we get on. Hopefully it'll work and everything will go smoothly, but I really don't know, because I honestly haven't looked at a thing on this tanker. So we'll be there in a few minutes, and after making a pile of rain last night, so hopefully we'll travel, but it is very good ground here. I also meant to bring the drone with me, but I didn't, so we'll basically kind of be in cab, or we'll give it a walk around and see how she's going. Well, here we have it. Our very first load of slurry for 2021 has gone out. We're travelling away perfectly. This is very, very dry ground, though. You wouldn't find any ground drier than this. I do have a camera for the back of the trailing shoe, but it's on the TM, and I just didn't put it in this for the minute. I suppose really there's a big enough pump on this tank, but you could do with a smaller one because it's blowing off the whole time really when they're spreading. You kind of really need a small pump for spreading and a big one for filling, so it's a bit hard to work that way. Also, these yokes are revved up a bit while they're spreading. She's running at 1100 RPM there now, whereas with the TM you could run at about 800 or 900 and she'd plug away the finest. You don't need that much pressure really to shove the slurry down the pipes. So all in all, it's working away fine so far. Once we really get into the swing of it, I might give a walk around the tank and show you all the working and what's going on and all that. So the basics of this shoe really are, it's discs opposed to knives. There's two big they kind of look like plates really, dinner plates. There's two big ones of them inside in the macerator. They're squeezed as tight as possible up against two wear plates, and they're on a cammed lobe, we could call it, I suppose, and that's going to get in your chopping action, and nothing can pass in between the disc and the plate once it's squeezed tight enough. The mistake we made at the start is we didn't have the disc squeezed tight enough, and silage was able to get in between the two of them. Now, bearing in mind they're not designed to spread for a colossal amount of silage either, so obviously that is a problem with all types of macerators. I suppose the Mastic really is probably one of the best, or like I said in another video, the KME one there looks a serious job. This one puts quite a bit of pressure on the ground. To get your macerator running, you have to pressurize your springs down onto the ground. I know some macerators or some trailing shoes are just running at very low pressure. They're more dribble bars than anything, but this one is actually putting a fair bit of pressure down into the ground. Other than that, I suppose you kind of really need to watch when you're turning. You need a lifter a small bit. This one won't stay putting out slurry if you lift it. Like I say, you need it pressurized down into the ground to get it to pump, and it won't pressurize down until it's folded out. It's a Slutsmith shoe. I know most applications are Vogel tank. I suppose really It's kind of, they're nearly all Dutch made, or the early ones were Dutch made. There's been a big drive in Irish ones the last couple of years, but up until that it was a Dutch kind of a thing. I personally, I like, if I had to put out my own slurry, I would put it out with one of them. There's no smell, the ground isn't destroyed with slurry, and it just seems a better job. It's definitely, I would say, by the time that it comes to the splash plate being bent, nobody will be spreading with a splash plate. It's going to be all this way. Every year there's more and more people and more contractors and farmers using this type of application, so it's definitely the way it's going. I think the days of the splash plate are probably numbered, but there's probably a few years left in it yet. But like I say, by the time they're banned, I think most people will be using these. We had hoped to be out with a few tanks today, but it just made so much rain last night. There's very few places you travel, and luckily enough we can travel away here and start to get some bit done and be making an impression in the whole thing. But hopefully the week is some way reasonable and we'll get going, because if, look, it'll just be a big backlog if we don't. So I normally shoot down straight where I was after spreading and work my way across the field, kind of like you would with a splash plate, except I switch it off in the headlands and I do my headlands in after. That's usually the way I work it. I know everyone has a different technique for doing it, but that's kind of what I find works best for me. What way do you do it? Let me know. A couple of comments I haven't responded to. Just look, I usually look at it for the kind of the day the video goes up, and I don't really scroll back until the older stuff's in again. So sorry if I missed out on anyone or anyone's asked me a question. Just a few there to catch up on. Someone asked me, what do I think of a CVX 150? More or less the same as these, just a different front axle. If you go on Facebook and onto the Steyr fan page, you will get lots of information there. There's some seriously knowledgeable blokes on that page. If I ever had a funny problem or anything, there's a couple of absolute geniuses on that page that will get you out of trouble. So definitely worth popping it up there and asking a few questions about them. Someone else was asking me about the electric spools and stuff like that. They're just a real funny kind of a thing, and you can be lucky and get one or two of them going yourself, but the majority of the time you really do need to send them off and get them repaired, which I still haven't done, and I won't be doing now until we're kind of on top of spreading again, because there's no point really having the tractor redundant waiting for a bit. So unfortunately, look, my battery's on 2% here now, so I'm going to have to part company with you. This is one of my favourite places to work. All the fields are perfect, and there's a good range of ground here. We'll be here again Monday. Hopefully I'll stick the drone up Monday, and we'll knock this video out for you the weekend, just so I know you're all made to see the slurry spreading going on again and the start of the slurry. So we'll knock another video out for you there for the weekend. And going into next week, look, we'll have plenty more going on. Be a couple of tankers out, might get all of them into one place, hopefully. Depends how much trail and shoe work I have to do, whether, you know, I'll be at that and the other tanks will be just working away at splash plate work. But we'll see how we get on. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you for the next video.